What's good? Hey, what's good, y'all? This the Thawahgabar in the house. All right. Man, what's good? What's good? I'm going a little earlier today, right? We're gonna get it in. I got some stories, I got some good information. We're gonna talk about time, right? There's a video I want to talk about with how much time you got and wasting time and how valuable time is. I'm also going to talk about Robert Brooks. I already talked about Robert Brooks and New Year, New You, right? New Year's Day is right around the corner, and we're going to talk about that. And there's other stories I want to get into. I want to talk about Stephen Weatherford, the 37-year-old brother that lost his life in a burning home, going in to save his family, and then also trying to get an engagement ring, and he unfortunately he lost his life. Right. So shout out to everybody that's rocking with me. What I will say is the sister, I'm assuming Queen B, you seen the title, and you said, I used to be a correctional officer and I was trained never to treat them inhumanely. However, staff wanted me to do so. I'm gonna add that, do so. The last straw ad crumbled up. The right up, sit up, the floor. I was not going to lie. Okay. So basically what I'm getting from what you just said is that and this is you hear this a lot from black people that have worked in law enforcement. I know black people that have worked in law enforcement and in the military, and so they say that you know it is a culture in there where they want you to do things to people that you're not willing to do. There is a culture where they want you to hurt people, unalive people, take advantage of the power that you have. And what I see a lot is where blacks and Hispanics, brown people that are in those positions, they choose not to do it. And then at the end, you get ostracized and you get pointed out, and they single you out and cause problems for you because you're not going along with the get along gang, right? Hey, shout out to everybody that's in here. Queen B, Sister Barata Now, Sister Amara Shara, Sister Renee Gaines. Shout out to y'all. What's up? What's up? So I want to get into this because I'm not going to spend a lot of time. I want to get right into it. I don't want to be long-winded on this live. I want to get straight to the point, right? So I want to talk about Wendy Williams and something that I think a lot of people, a lot of her followers and people that like the type of content that Wendy Williams produced when she was healthy, they have not thought about this, okay? So let me pull this up. Let me see. Now, we know with Wendy Williams, she was a radio host, then she went to television, and then she had, you know, a misfortune, a physical misfortune. She was diagnosed with medical problems. I think one of them is a form of dementia, uh, among other things. So she's been in a wheelchair. She's went through a lot as far as like people taking control of her life. She's not even in control of her own money, from what I'm understanding. Uh, I guess she had an episode during the taping of some show, and there's a lawsuit out. I can't remember the actual production company, but there's a lawsuit out by her caretaker, right? She got a caretaker, a manager, and they're managing her money. At one point in time, she couldn't go see her son. She could not, because she doesn't control her money, she couldn't give her son an allowance. So she's in a real jammed up position, Wendy Williams. She's really messed up. And she made a living off of, talking about the misfortunes or the juicy stuff that a lot of people like to hear about other people, other celebrities, other people, scandals, drama, gossip. You know how it is. These people And there's a lot of content creators out there like that have big platforms where they just talk about gossip and real nasty stuff. Well, this is how Wendy Williams came up. This is how she, excuse me, this is how she became popular in the public eye, and she grew into, a multimillionaire in a household name. What was the slogan? She say, "How are you doing?" After spewing or saying some gossip or some juicy story that is hearsay that people don't really know, but because this is what this society likes to hear, these is people like Wendy Williams that have made a living, have made a absolute fortune off of that type of content and in talking about people's business, right? So unfortunately, she has, had some misfortune. And I just want to bring this out that there are many social, what's like, you got Bossip, you got the Shade Room, you got what's that girl name? The one that got sued by Cardi B. Well, you got people like that have a huge platform off of talking about other people's business and nastiness and drama and gossip. And I just want to say that this is the end for all of them. What you seen what happened to Wendy Williams, how she's at 60 years old and she just lost her health and she can't do anything. Listen, that is judgment on her. And I feel like a lot of because women are the people that look at this stuff and love this stuff and was in her shows and was listening to her, like they listen to all of these content creators that are gossiping. All of your favorite content creators that talk about stuff like this, I mean, that nasty, vile stuff, this is what's going to happen to them, what you see with Wendy Williams. This is what's in store for them. This is thank you, Black Dazzle. Tasha K. This is going to be Tasha K in a few years. I promise you. And I want y'all to mark my words, because see, the Most High don't play. You know what I mean? He has a way of getting people back for the vileness that they have done to others. And listen, I don't have anything personal against Wendy Williams. I don't have nothing personal against none of those people. I could care less about that world, but I have seen the nastiness that these people spew in the talking points that they have and the things that this world has said, oh, it's entertainment. It's just entertainment. Well, you're hurting people. Words hurt people. Lies hurt people. People's business being out in the streets hurts people. You know what I'm saying? So this is like one of those things where you finally have reaped what you have sowed. I wish I had a mic drop sound or something like that. But this is one of those things where you finally, where you see all of that vile and all that stuff that she was talking about, everybody's business. Well, this is the end result. Now she is the talk of the town. Now she's in the headlines. Now she is, being looked at as what's wrong with you. Now she has people that are not even her family in control of her finances, in control of her life. Now she has health problems at 60 years old. And most people would say that 60 years old is, you're still young. You're still able to do things. You shouldn't be, bedridden or in a wheelchair where you can't walk. You get what I'm saying? So this is what is waiting. And this is how all of them are going to end up. Now we'll check back in, Lord willing, we'll check back in about 5-10 years between that and see what's going on with these people that run these platforms and what's going on with the people that frequent this stuff, that love this stuff. It's like it's almost like food to these people to hear some bad news or something allegedly, something that is gossip, and to make that a headline. And then that headline turns into money for people. It turns into stardom, and it turns into fortune for people. Well, here you see how it ends. It ends in misfortune. All right. That's how it's going to end. Now I want to move on to the brother in Oakland. Let me get this.
Rescue his family from a fire. The victim was a 30. An Oakland family lost a son this morning. He died trying to rescue his family from a fire. The victim was a 37-year-old who was going to propose to his fiancée next week. Just a terrible tragedy, as I said, in Oakland. Here's ABC 7 News reporter Ansar Hassan.
The family of Stephen Weatherford started Christmas Day mourning his loss. He died trying to save his family from their burning house.
Stephen was truly the best person you could ever be. He loved his family, his friends, everybody so much. He died trying to get them out the house, and he succeeded. I loved him so much.
LaShante Mayo was Stephen's girlfriend. She just learned on Christmas morning that he was going to propose on New Year's Eve.
I know he's looking down on us right now, and I don't know what else to say. I just wish he was here right now.
His aunt, Eunice Smith, says for generations, the Weatherford had hosted big holiday parties like Christmas at the family home. She says Stephen was sleeping on the couch when the fire erupted.
He was just trying to save everybody, make sure everybody was out the house. He may not have known that they all went out the back. And my other nephew was calling for him because they were all in the back, and they were calling, Stephen, come out, come out. And they heard him screaming, and he never made it out.
The Oakland Fire Department said.
So what I'm understanding is first of all, I just want to say my condolences to the family. This brother was a hero. Okay. Let's just say that. Let's just say that first. He was a hero. Okay. And what I'm understanding from this story that I didn't understand at first is that his wife to be, who was talking in the beginning, they were not in the house. He was at a family's house with his auntie and other kids. So now I'm just giving what I'm, a breakdown of what I actually see here. I'm gonna keep going.
As the cause of the fire is still unknown, but that it got a call around 6:15 a.m. of a house fire. When crews arrived on scene, they found Stephen's body inside. They believe he was likely overcome and disoriented by the smoke and appeared to have died from smoke inhalation.
See, he was a good person. He was a good family man, so it's important that, he saved his family. He saved 4 people in that house. He woke them up and he saved them. And he went back, I guess, because he wasn't sure if everybody was out of the house. So yes, he was a hero.
Mayo's mother, Sandra Clark, also had high praise.
Said the brother saved 4 people in that house. He saved his family. He put everybody first. You understand? Let me keep going.
For who would have been her soon-to-be son-in-law.
And when I met him, I said, that's the one. That's the one. And her father and I, we all just loved him so much, and he loved her so much. And I found out that he was going to propose to her, and he had bought the ring. And he didn't give a chance to give it to her, but it's in the house, and we're going to find it.
A GoFundMe account has been set up to help the family. In Oakland, Ansar Hassan, ABC 7 News.
Yeah, that's very sad. That's super sad. You know what I mean? That's unfortunate. But this brother was a hero. You understand? And you can't tell me black men don't love their families. You can't tell me a black man don't love a black woman, because he literally is willing to die, and he's willing to do whatever he has to do for the people that he loves. And this is a shining example in Stephen Weatherford, age 37. This brother, he did what he had to do. In a moment of chaos, he took action. In a moment of chaos, he did what he was supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, brother. You're a hero. You know what I'm saying? May you rise again, brother. Man, it's crazy though, because when there's a fire, they say that when the smoke, like if you get one gulp of the smoke, it could literally make you pass out or make you dizzy. So it is a situation that is very dangerous. And you see all of the gear that the firefighters put on, all of that stuff they put on just to go and save someone. Well, when you are a man that loves your family, you're not thinking about none of that. You're not thinking about, oh, I'm going to inhale some smoke. I'm not going to be able to get to this room and that room. And all you thinking about is I want to make sure everyone is out there. So he did what he did the damn thing. He did what he was supposed to do. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, he went back in there for that ring. He went in there for a ring, and, a ring or any type of jewelry, a lot of times it will survive through a fire. Now, if it's a really hot fire and it's really small jewelry, maybe it might melt. Maybe it might melt, but it's a material item. And, it's hurtful to think that, he didn't survive because of that material item and what it signifies and what it would have signified of him, starting a family with his future wife. So it's a catch-22. It's it's very heroic, but it's also hurtful to know that, these material things ain't worth our lives. Our lives are far more important than anything material. And when it comes to a ring, I just want to say, and I don't want nobody to take this the wrong way. When it comes to a ring ain't even important. A ring is not even important. Most people, and I'm not saying this would have happened with them. I'm just saying most people don't even stay together nowadays. Our ancestors were staying together 50 and 60 years out of slavery together with no ring. So a ring really is not important, but I hate the fact of what it symbolizes to people, which puts so much importance on it. And it's just a material item. Your love is what's important. That love that you seen that woman had for him, and that love that you seen that he had for that woman, that is what was most important. That is what is important, most important when it comes to us, the people that are still alive. This brother is no longer here. And, there's no fault on his end, but the thing is that we put a lot of emphasis, and let me just sidebar a little bit. We put a lot of emphasis on things that are not important, material things that are not important. And I'll give you an example. A good example is like, just say somebody, you got jewelry on and somebody comes up to rob you. And instead of, just giving them the jewelry, you fight them. And then in some way you end up on the bad end of the stick. You end up unalived. Or you getting robbed, you sitting in your car and somebody is trying to rob you and you're trying to fight back. Now, both of these scenarios I'm giving you at a disadvantage. First of all, you're in a disadvantage already because you're not expecting it, and then second of all, it's just a material item. So just give it up. Your life is more important than that. And the point I'm making is that our lives are more important than any material thing in this world. We are important as people. We're important. And this is not to down this brother, because I believe this brother did something that a lot of people would not have the heart to do. But I do know that a man that loves his family, he would have did that. He would have did the same thing. That loves his children, that loves his nieces and his nephews, he would have did the same thing. So it's not to down or take away from anything that happened with this brother. But I'm making the point that, because of that engagement ring, what we have to understand is material things are not as important as our lives. Okay. I'm going to drop that. We're going to drop that with this brother. Now let's get to the brother I talked about. I posted a video about the brother, Robert Brooks.
For you right now at Destiny USA. The mall closed this morning for what is being called a security concern. It's reopened since.
Let me scrub through here because this is a double story. There we go right here.
Attorney General Letitia James releasing that disturbing body cam video showing the beating.
I'm sorry.
33-year-old Robert Brooks, an inmate at Marcy Prison in Oneida County. Brooks died earlier this month. News Channel 9's Ashley Caparo now sharing that video with us. Ashley.
Yeah, Christy, the state AG's office confirming Robert Brooks was transferred from Mohawk Correctional Facility to Marcy Correctional Facility on December 9th. Now, less than 24 hours later, he would be dead. I did watch the video, and it's graphic. It shows Brooks being kicked, punched, and at one point partially stripped, all while being handcuffed. Just before 9:30 on December 9th, body cam video shows Robert Brooks in handcuffs being led into the infirmary at Marcy Correctional Facility. Corrections officers are then seen carrying Brooks into the lobby. He is then taken to a medical exam room. There are multiple corrections officers surrounding Brooks. A few minutes into the video, we see the beating begin. Video showing a guard begin punching Brooks while other corrections officers are seen looking on. Video then shows guards holding Brooks down while another guard appears to kick him in the groin. Multiple officers continue to hit and punch Brooks. Video also appears to show a guard grabbing Brooks by his throat and picking him up while another guard continues to hit Brooks in the stomach with a shoe. Now, Brooks was taken to a Utica hospital where he was pronounced dead. He had been serving a 12-year sentence for assaulting his girlfriend. We are also working to learn why Brooks was transferred from Mohawk to Marcy. There were 4 body cams operating, but they were in standby mode and audio was not recorded. Full video released by the AG's office can be found online at localsyr.com. Christine.
Listen, man. That brother was handcuffed. He was handcuffed, so it ain't no damn excuse at all. There's no excuse at all for what happened to that brother. You have a man that is handcuffed. You got a brother that his hands is behind his back. You know what I'm saying? He was no threat. And they said it was like 14, 15 people in that room, 14 officers in that room. It ain't no goddamn excuse, man. It's no excuse. Like I won't be surprised, but I'm waiting to see how are they going to wiggle themselves up out of this one. You understand? I'm waiting to see how white supremacy is going to get themselves up out of this one. They should be charged with murder, point blank. They should be charged with murder. You're right. It's sickening. It's diabolical. It's evil. And what people got to understand is that these people are devils. This is on camera, but inmates, they die all the time, mysteriously all the time when they're locked up. I believe 4 of the officers that were in that room already got charges on them from something else. You get what I'm saying? So like I said this in the video yesterday, I said, this reminds me of the patty rollers all over again. This is patty roller activity. This is gang activity right here. You looking at real gang activity. They got him, his hands are behind his back. He's handcuffed, punching him in his stomach, punching him in his face. One of them put his foot in his groin, put his foot where his private parts is, kicking him right there. I mean, that's a murder. You looking at the patty rollers all over again. You looking at white supremacy in a uniform. That's what you're looking at. And the thing is that this ain't even getting a lot of airplay. The media ain't really covering it like that. It's not covering it like that, man. This don't make no goddamn sense, man. And what really is infuriating is that they make it seem, they use this word salad. They make it seem like they say, oh, they failed to engage and activate the sound on their cameras. That ain't no damn fail. That's on purpose. That's on purpose. Now, something on camera, like you remember, like some of us are old enough to remember that cameras was not prevalent like that. Like you would have security cameras in businesses, but it was a time when, you know, cell phones wasn't everywhere. CC cameras wasn't everywhere. What you call those ring cameras wasn't everywhere on people's houses, where cameras wasn't everywhere on intersections that catch stuff. They have cameras on buildings nowadays, that cameras on freeways that just look at stuff. It was a time when it wasn't cameras like that, right? And you remember, like, when something is not on camera, it's always 50-50. Did it happen? How did it happen? You have this point of view, you have that point of view. But then when camera came out, and I'll give you a good example is the Rodney King riots. When people actually first were able to see in more of a modern time how police get down. Like, you heard the stories how police get down in the streets. But that Rodney King video where somebody was recording from, I think, across the freeway or something like that, and you got 4 officers beating the hell out of Rodney King, it infuriated people. And it was without a shadow of a doubt, these people are guilty. Now, fast forward to 2025. We're looking at the video, and in some kind of way, in this devil's diabolical legislation, or how can I say, judgment, he's going to figure out a way to say, you're not seeing what you're seeing. I see a murder. The brother died the next day. And somebody said yesterday, said, oh, what they're going to say is that he was high on something. They're going to say he was, something in the system or something like that. Right? But they try to convince you that your eyes are not seeing what your eyes are seeing. That's crazy. There was somebody, Sister Barathanauer, there was a medical personnel in there. So I feel that whoever that was should get charged too. Everybody standing around, they said it was also sergeants in there. It was higher ups up in there. You know what I'm saying? That's why we should never call these devils to handle our family issues or anything else. Let me take you back to Sonia Massey, unalive over a pot of water. They're going to tell you you're not seeing what you're actually seeing. It's caught on camera. Now let's just flip the script. If it was me, right? If it was me doing it all, trust and believe my ass would be under the jail. Trust and believe when they bring me out, like if I was to do something and it's on camera, I have no chance. There is not a attorney in the United States, in the world, that could get me off. Flip it. If it was some brothers doing this to a white man, there would be no attorney, no court, no appeal that could get you off, because the camera is not lying. It's seeing what it's seeing. You know what I'm saying? It sees what it sees. It's a second set of eyes. That's what cameras are designed. That's why they wear body cameras. That's why people put cameras in their cars and on their doors, because it is a second set of eyes. It is a third party in the situation that is a eyewitness. But I guess that don't apply when it comes to black people. It don't apply when it comes to us. It don't apply. Sister Amara said, oh yeah, you never coming home and will probably get the death penalty. Right. They'll put me under the jail. You catch me on camera doing anything and I'm on camera, it ain't no argument that's going to be made for me. But it seems like when these devils with badges, when they unalive our people and murder our people, they want to convince you that the camera ain't seeing what the hell you see. All of a sudden, the camera turns into some damn magical machinery where it's a possibility he was doing this and doing that. When you like, damn, they beating the hell out of the brother. They beating him to death. Yeah, well, we haven't substantiated that. We're still investigating. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? How in the hell was he high on something when he was being transferred from one facility to another? Why didn't they just take him to his cell? Yeah, I was saying that was, someone said that, someone was saying yesterday that that's probably one of the excuses that the police are going to make and say he was high off of something. That's what I wasn't saying that he was actually he was high, or they said he was high, but you never know. You never know what angle they're going to come with. Black Dazzle said, our eyes don't deceive us in these cases. We see clearly. Yes, sis, we see clearly. We see clearly, but all of the rhetoric and all of the words and all of the deliberations and, court appeals and back and forth to court and all of that. And then next thing you know, these cops are only going to get about a year, 2 years, and then they'll be out. You know what I'm saying? That's how it plays out. They want to show you that they're doing something because they don't want the public to riot. They don't want the public to, go AWOL. So they want to show that they're doing something. And I'm sure this is not the first time. They were too comfortable in there doing that to that brother. They were too comfortable. So it's not the first time. There are videos with brothers talking about how they were treated by correctional officers. They abused brothers in there. They deprived them of things. There's psychological abuse. There's all types of levels of abuse. I'm sorry. And the thing is, I'm not saying that brothers are innocent. You locked up. So obviously there are brothers in there that are in there doing their time and they did something. You know what I'm saying? And there's brothers that have unalived correctional officers, beat that brakes off of them. But this brother had his hands behind his back, handcuffed, defenseless, just like our forefathers, defenseless against a white lynch mob, defenseless against white accusations. Oh, you bumped into this white woman. You SA'd this white woman. You said this to this white man. You stole this from this white man. You unalived this person. Defenseless against a mob. And a white supremacist, you want me to say, oh, that's just an isolated incident. Nah, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say that these are devils and they're just like their forefathers, because I am not going to forget my past, and I'm not going to say, oh, it doesn't bring up the thought of how my forefathers used to get treated, because it does. And the funny thing is, and y'all know I say this a lot, if it was the tables were turned and it was a Jewish person being treated in that way by a German person, like how their forefathers were treated by the Nazis, they would feel the same way. Even though they wasn't in the Holocaust, it's still their people, and they still love their people, and they still have pride in their people. So anytime these incidents happen, where you see this brother being treated inhumanely like this in a room full of white men, of course it's going to anger me. It should anger any black person that has a concept of what has happened to them as a people and understand the relationship between black and white people historically. It should anger them, and they should speak on it. So for you white supremacists and you black people that are, you lean to that side also, to conservatism and in the right, shut your damn mouth and don't worry about what black people is going through, because obviously you don't care anyway. You don't care anyway. You know what I mean? You don't give a damn, but we do. Sister Barathanawa said this. She said, when I saw this last night, I couldn't stop crying. This shit is so sad on so many levels. It's heartbreaking to see. But it has to be people that are willing to point out the evils of this society and not act like it's an isolated incident. This has been going on for forever. This is on camera, but who knows all of the brothers that done been unalived in this fashion inside of correctional facilities, even in the juvenile facilities. And we're not just talking about brothers, we're talking about women, sisters too. Who knows? Those stories don't get told. Those stories don't get out. It don't be no camera evidence of those stories. Thank the Lord that it was some camera evidence. Hell, they turned the sound off. So we don't know what they were saying, but it's a few of them in there with smirks. But guess what? Here's the evil part of it. I bet you they had a holly jolly Christmas. They had a good white Christmas. They sat there smiling, drinking eggnog, watching their kids open presents that they bought from a job where they're somewhere brutalizing and unaliving Black and brown men. That's all I got to say right now, y'all. It's not a lot of things coming out. Not a lot of stories coming out on this since the initial video, details and nothing like that. So it just doesn't sit right. And someone has to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So may that brother rise again. That was a strong brother. And the brother, he was in there for, I believe, abusing his wife, it said. He had did almost 7 years of a 12-year sentence. I don't know what the situation is with his history, priors, or nothing like that, but he definitely had did his time. And we don't know what happened because we can't get any details. Everything that is going to be coming out is going to be coming out from the people that murdered him because he can no longer speak. So we don't know any details. They turned the sound off. We don't know. But from the video, what it does, you can see is that they're bringing him in there. He already is being picked up by the lifted up when he comes in. So obviously something has already happened where he cannot walk on his own 2 feet once the video starts. Yeah. And it really pisses me off that our people be quiet on shit like this. You know what I'm saying? We be so scared to say what we're thinking. And it's so funny because I was talking to some people, I forgot who I was talking to, but they kind of like just confirm what I always say is this, is that, even when it's time to even talk about issues like this or just talk about the truth, Black people, they whisper when they want to talk about white folks or they want to talk about something that's really true. They be like, hey, yeah, and when you know what, and it's like our people are so scared. We're so damn cowardly, and long as we're taken care of, it's kind of like we've lost that idea of we're all together, we're all one. What happens to you happens to me. If they doing you like this, they can do me like this. If they doing my kids like this in the street, they can do your kids. Like we done lost that mindset. We think everything is an isolated mindset. And I think part of it is for self-preservation because we're so damn scared. And a lot of us still carry that trauma from a slave. We got that trauma from a slave because we are trying to preserve ourselves. We're trying to preserve our jobs. We're trying to preserve how we're looked. We don't want them to look at, we don't want to cause we don't want to ruffle no feathers. We don't want to get nobody upset by saying the truth. So it's weird to me because I've been thinking like this for so long. It's weird to see Black people like that after George Floyd. I'll go back farther. After Mike Brown, Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice, Sandra Bland. It's so weird to see Black people so afraid to speak about these people being devils. These people have not changed. It's so weird to me. It's a shame, and it makes me think about the time when, recently, y'all know I made that Christmas video. That Christmas video brought out hardcore truth. And I know it cut a lot of Black people that celebrated Christmas. And I'm like, damn, this video should be doing a lot better than it's doing. But when it's packed with so much truth and it cuts so hard, a lot of our people, they're afraid to admit that, maybe I'm wrong. I've been doing this thing wrong for a long time. But my grandma celebrated Christmas, my mama celebrated Christmas. I don't want to, bump against the walls. I don't want to go against the grain. I don't want to upset nobody. I don't want them asking me. I don't want to upset my wife. My wife loves Christmas. You know what I'm saying? So in that way, we're very weak, Black people. We're weak across the board. We're strong. We're strong when it comes to gossiping about people, when it comes to talking about people, when it comes to, drama, we're very strong. When it comes to wickedness, when it comes to hurting one another, when it comes to talking shit, we're very strong against one another. But when it comes to what people do to us, we're weak as hell. We're weak as hell. Let me get this next story because I've just been rambling. Let me get this. Mm-hmm.
They're going to be peace. You know what I noticed, y'all, and I'm going to tell you, I don't know if anybody else think like this, but listen to this here. A lot of people, they say they think when they get older, they're going to be settling down and things going to be wonderful. They're going to be peaceful. But let me tell y'all this here. This must be a new day because guess what, y'all? People my age are still trying to make it. They still trying to figure out how they're going to make ends meet. A lot of people still got their own homes, but they got to worry about the taxes. Some older people, they got to worry about how they're going to pay their utility bills. Some of those Social Security checks ain't enough. And a lot of times people really think that when I get older, when I get Social Security, when I be able to do it, you better get yourself together now for when you get older. Because people think that when they get old, y'all just don't have no idea. The young people don't have no idea. They think that when they get older, they're going to be settling down. And look, I know people that people still, I know a woman right now, y'all, in her 70s, still trying to find love. Still trying to find somebody to say, baby, I love you. In her 70s, y'all. That's why I said, I can't do all that, y'all. I can't be worrying about finding somebody that love me at my age, y'all. Nope. That's why I be saying, y'all, you got to get your life together now for when you get older. Figure out some kind of plan, y'all, that y'all can do when you get older that you won't have to go through a lot of struggles that a lot of older people are going through.
Man, and what she's saying is so relevant to our people. And she pointed out the fact that things are getting bad for older people, and young people always look, well, even when I was coming up, look at it like, you have time to waste. Young people look at older people like you're old. Like, so, somebody 25, somebody 30 years old was considered old. And as you grow and you go through your 20s and your 30s, you see like time ticks so fast. Time goes so fast, man. And another point she brought out was about relationships, get with somebody. You think you're going to, party and lay up with people through your 20s, 30s, and 40s, and then now you want to settle down? Like, it doesn't work like that. That's not reality. And this social media, this age, this generation, that social media has fried a lot of people's brains to not understand these things and think that you have all the time in the world to do what you want to do, when that's just not going to, it's not going to pan out how you think it's going to pan out. I remember, I can remember yesterday, like when I was 21 and I didn't have a plan. And, many of us have wasted time. Many of us have wasted time. And they talk about the 20s, being a time when you're discovering yourself and you meeting people and you going outside and you partying and you traveling. Well, no, that should be a time where you're actually establishing. That should be a time where you're putting things down, planning and focusing as a young person. So this is really for young people, but it's also for people like me. What I'm talking about is that, after you done live some time, you start to think about all the time that you have wasted. You start to think about, your upbringing. Many of us was not as advantaged as others as far as having both parents in the home, or maybe having one parent, or maybe being raised with your grandparents, and so a lot of us didn't get the tools or the backing or the support that we may have needed. But when we became adults, we wasted a lot of time. And we all come, like, we not going to front, because I know there's a lot of Black people that have their things together, that did pretty good for themselves, and are successful in ways that the average Black people are not successful, or maybe at the early age. Listen, kudos to you. Good for you. You did well. But the vast majority of Black people, we end up figuring things out a little later. So that's the same thing that happened with me. I figured out things a little later, and it could have been from whatever the case may be. Some people have a lack of education. Some people, don't have the proper mentorship and things like that to, keep them in line and keep them in check and show them the right moves to make. But whatever the case is, it's like, you get to a point where you realize, like, I don't got time to be wasting time. Right. And so as you get older, you start to value your time. And many people that are, you're in your late 30s to your 40s, you understand what I'm saying. If you have learned from the lessons of life, if you're smart enough to have learned from the lessons of life, you understand that your time is more valuable than anything, especially when you're starting to think about things that you want to get accomplished, goals that you want to do. Your time becomes precious. You know what I mean? And so that's how we have to learn to utilize our time. And that's for the young people too. Utilize your time well, set goals, set a daily goal. At my age, I don't have time for you wasting my time. If you're going to tell me you're trying to do something business wise or something like that, and I have things planned for the rest of my day, and you don't show up, or you do show up, but you show up late, now I have to think about the things that I had planned, my daily goals that I had planned to get accomplished. And I ain't got time for that. You know what I mean? And I know a lot of y'all can agree with that. Black Dazzle says she is absolutely right. Right, sis. Karl Moss Bob said the old shall teach the young. She's so right. Right. So as a young person, and I can tell you from experience, is that you should be planning and focusing while everybody is going out to party, while everybody is trying to, have a good time, out in the streets. You should be planning and your time at home, the things that you want to do in the future, writing them goals down, and focusing on that. Excuse me. I'm trying not to sneeze. And another thing, what the sister said is this: like that sister was talking, she's an older woman, so she has lived a long life. She's going through what she's going through now, and she's telling this to young people, letting them know you don't have the time to be messing around. You don't have the time to be thinking that you can be in and out of relationships. That's really a bad one right now. And that's a whole nother video I can go into. But she says she knows a 70-year-old woman that's still looking for love. And it seems like when you look at social media, a lot of these people are going to be in that same boat come when they're 70 years old, right? Looking for love, you know what I mean? On Instagram, twerking or something like that. But the most important thing is that utilize your time in a fashion where you will benefit and you can set yourself up later on. You can do a lot better than the people that came before you as a young person if you just listen to the wisdom and the life experiences that they're giving you. Like, you don't have time like that, and it's kind of hard to see it when you're young and immature that time goes like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I can remember like it was yesterday when I was 21, then I was 28, then I was 34. You know what I'm saying? Like, time moves so fast. So you have to have something in place, and Do that while you're still young. Do that in your 20s. Let everybody else do what they're doing, but you focus on your dream. You focus on a business, whatever it is that you want to focus on. Focus on that thing and do it right, because time waits for no one. So that's about it, right? With all of that. Now I want to get into a new year, a new you, right? New year, new you. And I have a video that I did last year that it's an excellent video with excellent history, ancient history, and history of your ancestors, more specifically when it comes to New Year's Day. Okay. So I'm just going to go in it light, but go and check that video. Go check that video out. A sister said, Black Dazzle said, while everyone was partying and having multiple relationships, I got married at 27. See? And now this society looks at it like it's wrong to be married that early. It's wrong. Like they look at it like it's something wrong with you. You're supposed to live life, girl. Go out and live life. That's how this society looks at men or women. Like, why are you settling down so early? You got time for that in your 30s. You got time for that in your 40s. Like I know a sister that, you know what I mean, I was very fond of growing up. We was tight in high school. And I looked at it in the future. Maybe we might be together, right? But now I see a lot of people that are my age that never had children, wish they could have had children, but they were too busy partying, living that bachelor life, living that single life, living that party life. You know what I'm saying? Like they were too busy doing that. They were too busy trying to get money, trying to do this. And now they kind of like regret it because they wish they had children. And they don't. And so that's why this world is kind of jacked up, because it sends out, if you're going to be in the world and follow the world, it's sending out a messed up message that hurts people time and time again. You know what I mean? And that goes back to us as a people becoming better at raising our children, instilling certain values in our children, so that when they go out in this world, they don't latch on to the philosophies of this world and start living that way. And then, 20, 30 years later, say, I wish I would have did this. I wish I had a family. I wish I had kids, but I don't. I'm too old now. But anyway, let me get to what I was talking about. I was talking about New Year's. So we've heard it our whole life. It's supposed to be a new year, so it's a new you. It's a new relationship, a new job, a new car, new money. You just new, right? It's just like everything in the last year. You ain't gonna go through none of those hardships. It's brand new. You letting go of people. You leaving them back there in that year. Those old people. Now you're gonna get attached to some new people that you're gonna be leaving in the next year. So, but yeah. So you got the New Year's resolutions that nobody ever keeps. Don't nobody ever keep the new. They be like, yeah, I'm about to get in the gym. I'm about to do this. I'm about to do that. You know what I'm saying? And this, I'm new for the 999. I'm new for 2025. You're gonna see the results, and then they don't stick with it. You know what I mean? And when it comes to that, and I'm sure y'all either heard this in class. I say it all the time because our people are very uneducated. So I say it all the time about slavery. Before I go into slavery, I'll go into New Year's is connected to the Roman god Janus. Okay, you'll learn all of this if you go check my video out for New Year's from last year. So the god Janus was the god of duality. It's a two-faced god, a god with one face on either end, right? For new beginnings and a lot of other things. So it's a Roman god. Also, Janus is, the month of January is from Janus. And so this idea of a new beginning in a new year. First of all, when it comes to the reality of the date, this is not actually the new year. The new year would fall somewhere around in April, you know. And so when we go and look at the history of our ancestors, what we see is even then, it was a bad time. New Year's Day was a bad time for our ancestors on the plantation. New Year's Day was actually a day where people get sold off or they get hired out. So it's kind of a crazy dynamic because come December 25th, the master will bring out bottles. They'll be husking corn. They'll be eating good. Everybody be drunk. They'll allow you to play some music. Everybody having a good time. Christmas. But then come January 1st, it's like it's a time of sadness because now families are getting broken. You're getting sold away and people are getting hired out on contracts. And so it's like like a corporation today, like a company today, New Year's, you start to notice they cut people. They cut a lot of things that they don't need. They restructure the company for the next fiscal year. That was the same with our people on the plantation. The problem is we was the products. Okay. So that's a real light history, but go check that video out. I'll put the link in the description after this video is done, this live is done, for people that in the future that's going to see this live, because that's usually how my lives go. More people watch my lives a couple of hours after versus when I'm actually live. But yeah, so that's about all I have for you guys. All right. Sister Barathanawa said this. She said, it's just a phase that people take themselves through every year, not taking anything seriously that they confess to change. Yeah, people don't take it seriously. It's all of these things kind of go back to, just having a good time and people not really realizing like all they really want to do is just party. But you can party the right way by not keeping these holidays of white supremacy, of your oppressor. I said that in that video. I said, man, you just celebrated Christmas. That came from white supremacy. The same white supremacy that murdered that brother. The same white supremacy had 14 cops beat the hell out of that brother and basically beat him to death. And you're celebrating the same, that holiday is from that same foundation. And I know it's hard for people to connect the dots like that, but we got to think bigger. We gotta wake up. We got to wake up to the lies and the systems that we've been indoctrinated in. I don't get a lot of people because they say, I can't believe the Bible. They'll tell me I'm wrong for reading the Bible, but you celebrate Christmas. If you really read the Bible, you would know that Christmas it's not even in the Bible. You say, oh, I'm just pro-black. I'm blackity black, but you celebrating all of these European holidays. What's wrong with you? You can't be doing both. You can't stand on, both sides of the fence. You got to stand for something or fall for anything. And it just shows me how fake people are and how gullible our people are and how weak our people are. But anyway, man, I'm going to wrap it up, man. I was planning to try to, today it's a really beautiful day. It's not really that warm, but I was going to try to see if I could slide to the beach today. Maybe I might vlog. Maybe I might get some content at the beach, but it gets dark early. So I don't know how that would even happen. It's really for, just for my, I've been promising my kids a long time, but it's a nice day. I got some free time. Yeah. So that's my plans. And I hope, brothers and sisters, I hope you stay safe. I hope you stay out of harm's way and enjoy the rest of your afternoon. All right. With that, let me give y'all some shout outs before I get up out of here. Sister Queen B, shout out to you for your input about being a correctional officer. Sister Barata Nawa, Sister Amara, Sister Renee, Black Dazzle, always rocking with me. Sister Kawamaz Bob, always rocking with me. Let me see. Well, all of y'all always be rocking with me. Really though. My main man, Queen B said, I'm not even watching the Eagles game in honor of Robert Brooks, Jordan. That's right, sis. That's right. Man, shout out to you. See, that's the type of energy you got to have. That's the type of energy you got to have. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, sis, you could just watch the highlights. That's right. You too, sis. But that's the type of energy. That's the type of energy you got to have, though. Like, that type of energy is the energy that translates to this. Like, celebrating a holiday. Because a holiday basically is you're going to be buying all of these things, putting all that money into the merchant's hands, keeping this economy going. But just imagine if Black people said, you know what? We're not buying nothing for Christmas time. Imagine how much money they would lose if Black people said, we're not watching none of these games. So your ratings, they're going to be dead. If we was doing stuff like that, we can get shit done. We can, that'll get people's attention. Just like those boycotts back in the day, it got people's attention. When Black people weren't spending no money, that gets their attention. And so that's the same way. But see, we done lost that type of unity. We don't have that type of unity anymore where we can be all on code. And even when Colin Kaepernick was doing that, you always have some nigga that want to make a bag and make some money like Jay-Z come along and make a deal with the NFL. You know what I'm saying? And just shit on what Colin Kaepernick was doing. Right, T Mingo, spending money because he tell us to do it. Spending money, you know what I'm saying? But man, shout out to all of y'all, T Mingo, Queen B, all of y'all, man, for rocking with me, man. And I'll be back. I'll be dropping some more videos very soon, man. Y'all have a good day for the rest of y'all day. And with that, this is Black Authentic Truth.